Hi, I'm Introved, and today it's time for another book review. So, one of the books that I finished recently, it's quite a tome, I tell you. It's The Glass Lake by Maeve Binchy. Here it is. And my god, it was typed and printed at such a fine print, it took me ages to go through this. So, this is not the author that I'm reviewing for the first time. I have reviewed this author earlier also, and I had loved the books written by her in the past as well. So the author and her writing style was nothing new. She generally talks about these small towns and communities where everybody knows everybody else, and their lives are all intertwined. So it is on similar lines, but this time there was a lot of drama in the story. Yeah, so it's about a small family of Mr. McMahon, who's a pharmacist in Low Glass, a small town, and they have two children, Kit and Emmett. And when Kit is around 12 or so, their mother happens to leave them without a trace. It's believed that she drowned in the lake, hence the name the Glass Lake. But then she had run off with a man. Uh, the marriage with McMahon had happened under this condition only that she will not be wholeheartedly involved in the marriage because her heart was already taken by this other man, Mr. Louis. In one of my last videos, I had spoken about this kind of chemistry talking, and that is exactly what it turns out to be. So, there's a whole lot of drama. It's not a very clear cut, straightforward story as such, but there are lots of ups and downs that this woman faces when she moves away from her children and her family, and what happens to the family in turn, and how their lives take a turn for the better. So, all of this is interwoven together along with a few other people thrown into the mix, and that makes a very interesting but a very intense read. So, if you're not into relationships between people, or if you're not big on reading about small families and communities, because it was written in sometime in 1953, I think, to 60. This is like the setting of the novel. So it spans over a few years, quite a few years. So if you're not into that kind of thing, then you might not like it. Otherwise, it was an intense and an interesting read. I quite enjoyed it, but I took it a little slowly. I was not looking forward to every other chapter like I normally do, because her other novels are quite upbeat on the whole, but this was a little morose at times. So, up to you whether you would like to read it or not. But the other book I highly, highly recommend. I downloaded that book, so I don't have a hard copy of it. That is Science by Laura Lynne. Now, Laura is basically a psychic medium, and she has talked about the kind of signs that people ask from their loved ones who have departed from this world. So it is made up of these little stories from her clients, how they connected with her, and how they asked for certain signs on their own also from their dear departed ones, and how they got those signs. And some of the signs, you will be surprised, were so unusual, but when asked, they did send a sign. So basically, it's a sign of the fact that it's just that people die, the spirits move on, and they are there in some other sphere, other realm, watching over us, sometimes as angels, sometimes as guardians, and sometimes they just hover around us. I think till they are into the next bodies. So it was very interesting, the kind of signs people asked for, how they got them, the mysterious ways in which they appeared in places, how sometimes they would miss those signs and then somebody else would draw their attention to that. So it was very touching, and it had some feel good factor about the whole book, that I found it very uplifting, very comforting, like a warm hug. So I really enjoyed reading that book. So you can check it out if you like it. So if you are open to the idea of spirits and what happens after death and psychic mediums, that sort of thing, then you can really give it a try and read and see for yourself whether you like it or not. I hope you enjoyed this short review of these two books. Take care and catch you soon.